everyone, welcome to Making Cosmetics. This time we are formulating a self-tanning mousse. I have a sample for you to show how it will turn out. It's one that you use with a foamer bottle. And it produces a nice light foam that can be then easily spread on the skin. So it looks really nice and light. All right, so let's get started. With the formulation, and the formulation will be posted on our website. It will also be posted below the video in YouTube. We are starting with water that I pre-measured and glycerin. The next ingredient is going to be a deal concentrate for personal care. Sometimes self-tanners leave an unpleasant smell on the skin, and we believe that helped to neutralize it. So we are going to add 0.5%. All the measurements will be published in the formulation. Always blend well after each ingredient. The next one is a moisturizing ingredient called 72-hour moisture. This one is added at 3%. Give it a good blend. Then we're adding some extracts. For example, witch hazel, which is soothing, at 1.5%. Then we're adding aloe vera. Ours is 10 times concentrated, so if you add 1%, you actually have 10% in there. Okay, next one is cucumber and rhubarb. At 1.5%. And we're adding our tanning ingredient. It's called DHA. It's a white powder and it's pre-measured. We're adding it at 6%. It's water soluble, so it should dissolve really well. Next ingredient is xanthan gum, and we are adding it to give a little bit of viscosity, and it helps to stabilize the foam. We pre-measured it and we're adding it at 0.2%. So now it needs a really good blend, and I believe we need a stick blender because there might be some tiny little particles that are not totally dissolved. That's good enough. It doesn't need to be mixed really long, just quick to dissolve the particles. And then we move on to our next ingredient. It's going to be the surfactants that are responsible for the foam. We are using polyglucose first at 4%. Then we're adding cocoa batin at 2%. Our next ingredients are lactic acid and citric acid. They will lower the pH, making the product acidic, and that will actually make the DHA more stable over the next few weeks. We're starting with lactic acid, just a little bit to get the pH at a 4, level 4, just 0.1%. Yeah, just 3 or 4 drops. The next one is citric acid, also at 0.1%. Blend again well until dissolved. Starts to foam already a little bit. Next ingredient will be preservative, and we're using benzyl alcohol, DHA. Always give it a good shake before you add it. It has to be added pretty accurately, so we're using a pipette. We're going to add 0.8%. There you go. Give it a good mix or stir. Then next ingredients are colors. We want to give it a tint so you know where the color was applied on the skin. This will last till the next shower, so we recommend to not shower within 6 hours. To get the DHA also working in the skin. Okay, so we are going to add caramel and DNC red 40. We are using more of the caramel and less of the 40 to get a bronzy color. So it's good to pre-mix and not just dump the colors in here. It might end up too strong. So it's good to pre-disperse them in 1 or 2 teaspoons of water. And you blend well. You know, checking the shade. This one is like a walnut brown. It actually could use a little bit more of the red. So we're going to add a little bit more. You might want to blend a little longer, but we are shortening the time here a bit. And then you add it dropwise. And stir. So you see how the color develops. This is not the color that will result then on the skin. It's the DHA that will determine the color and your final color on your skin, and it will develop within hours. This is just the color that you can see the difference where you applied it. I suggest we add a bit more. Alright, then you give it another good stir. It develops now in a dark brown. It's a little more bronzy now. As the final step, it's good to measure the pH To be sure, it's in the pH 4, 3.5, 4, 4.5 range. Yeah, this is about a 4, 3.5, 4, so that's going to be perfect. And the next step is that you fill it into a foamer bottle, just like this one. A little bit too much red 40 probably, so you see the difference. The brown one has more caramel, this one has a little bit more of the red 40. So be careful when you mix. Start with just a small amount and then go from there. Check it again the next day and you can always make some adjustments. So I hope you enjoyed this session and get a really nice sun-kissed bronze tan.